afternoon. For those of you who don't know, my name is Maya Karen. I run a fashion blog called Classically Kept. It does feature luxury, contemporary, and how to style, and now natural hair care. So if you are into any of those things, please consider subscribing and clicking the notification bell. That way you will never miss a video. So for today's video, we are going to be going over how to make my Bing Raj oil. I will put the other video down below. It was my takeaways and goals for 2022. So if you watched that video, you would have known one of my takeaways for 2021 would have been Bing Raj powder. It is a part of Ayurveda. Ayurveda is just basically an Indian way when you start talking about your hair, just how to holistically care for and take care of your hair. So Bing Raj powder's nickname is actually King of Hair. It has so many different benefits, but for me, it completely stopped my hair shedding. It completely stopped my dandruff and my hair fall, itchy scalp, and also it helped my hair grow. So as far as this oil is concerned, it is 6 ingredients. Of course, you have the Bing Raj powder, then you have castor oil, then you have lavender, then you have peppermint, and then you have rosemary. Okay, now when we start talking about the 3 essential oils, you can basically use whatever essential oil you want to use. I use those 3 for specific purposes of helping the hair growth and then helping the hair follicle being stimulated. Okay, now a couple of things before we do get started. Number 1, make sure whenever you introduce some type of hair product into your regimen, make sure you always do a patch test. Make sure you are not allergic, okay? Number 2, when it comes to making these hair products, make sure that you have some type of antimicrobial and antifungal, and your essential oils will be considered that, in these hair care products. You do not want fungus to start growing in these hair care products that you are making by yourself or making at home and then putting it in your scalp and then you get a fungal infection. The third thing is that I don't really measure. When we start getting into the essential oils, I'll probably tell you about 5 to 10 drops. But as far as like cups, half a cups, fourth of cups, I don't do that. I just eye it, okay? So let me go ahead and just run down the reasons really quickly why I choose to use those 6 products in this hair oil. So of course, the very first is Bing Raj powder, and like I said before, it helps with hair growth, okay? It contains vitamin D and E. It contains magnesium and also contains iron. It also helps stimulate and revitalize the hair growth follicle, and it also helps with the dandruff, itchy scalp, and it helps with baldness, hair fall, and also hair shedding. When I started using this, I would probably say in 2019 or in 2020, I should say, I was having itchy scalp, absolutely gone. First application, it was absolutely gone. So was my dandruff. The second thing, the hair shedding. I do wear my hair in twists, but I also noticed that I was dealing with also a lot of shedding. If you don't know, the average person sheds anywhere from 50 to 100 hairs a day, okay? Avocado oil. So as far as avocado oil is concerned, I use avocado oil instead of olive oil because I find that my hair likes it better. But avocado oil even penetrates deeper into the scalp, into the hair follicle than olive oil does, okay? It supports a healthy hair scalp, and it helps to seal in and lock in moisture. We all know that as a natural, one of the things that we combat is frizziness and dry. Okay, the next one is castor oil. So it helps with shine, manageability, and frizz. Also, it is an antifungal and it is an antibacterial, okay? Next, we have peppermint oil. I love peppermint oil. I love the way it smells, and I also love that when you put it on your scalp or really anywhere on your body, you get kind of like a tingly sensation. It is an antibacterial, and then it does help stimulate the hair follicle, okay? Rosemary oil, it has a little bit, for me, the smell is very pungent, so I will probably be using up only about 5 drops of this, but it's the exact same thing with the peppermint oil. It increases the blood flow circulation, and it is also an antifungal. And then lastly, we have lavender oil. It also helps stimulate the hair follicle, and it is an antimicrobial. We have the Bing Raj powder, of course, castor oil, lavender oil, rosemary oil, peppermint oil, applicator bottle, cheesecloth, bowl, pan, and a spoon. Okay, so we are going to use the double boil method. Place the pan on the stove, and we're gonna let it warm up. Then we're gonna put the bowl on top of the pot. Then we're going to add our avocado oil. Now we're going to add our Bing Raj powder. Let's start out with 2 teaspoons. And then we're just going to stir. And you will start to see it change color. It's a little thick right now, but as it warms up and as you stir it, it's going to kind of go back to like a very slippery oil consistency. Okay, and we're gonna let it boil for 30 minutes. And then within those 30 minutes, you can just come back a couple of times to stir. Let it cool off for a second before you touch it. And then we are going to let this sit for 24 hours. Make sure you cover it. It has been 24 hours. Let me show you why we're going to strain. This is what is left over after it's sitting for 24 hours. We're going to strain to make sure that we get the rest of the residue. We're just going to let it drain. I had to get a little creative. I was not going to hold that while it drained. This is what we are left with. Now let's add our essential oils. First, rosemary, 5 drops. Next, lavender, 10 drops. Next, peppermint, also 10 drops. Castor oil, I just pour whatever I think looks good. And then we're going to stir. We are done. We have made our Bing Raj oil. Now let's transfer it to the applicator bottle. While we're pouring, let's talk about application. I use this 2 to 3 times a week. I will probably start with 2 times a week, Tuesday, Thursday. Make sure you're able to get to your scalp. That's the reason why I love using an applicator bottle. You will put it all over your scalp, and then you will give yourself a scalp massage for 30 minutes. Now, as you can see, I'm pouring the consistency. It is very slippery, very oily. You will not need a lot. This small bottle should last you a very, very long time. If you are going to use it as a mask, which you can absolutely do, I would tell you to use it on your wash day. So that is it. Simple and easy. The most complex thing we did was the double boil method. If you do decide to use this Bing Raj oil, let me know in the comments how it goes for you. I just want to remind you, here on YouTube, I do upload videos every Wednesday and Sunday. And then, of course, up right corner, I will put my Instagram handle. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, you guys. Bye.